Alright guys, we are back in my garage for another video, and today we are going to be talking about a new cam upgrade that is coming for the B58. However, this is coming from a company that you probably didn't expect. It was actually recently announced by Dorch Engineering that they are going to be offering a new cam upgrade. Now you might be wondering, why is a company that focuses on fuel system upgrades coming out with a cam option? And in reality, a high pressure fuel pump and a cam works hand in hand in order to deliver fuel to our cars. So if you look at the cam lobes, you can see that majority of them are for your valve train. They open and close the valves and control how much air can go in the engine. But there is one lobe in particular on the exhaust cam that actually drives your high pressure fuel pump. And the size of that cam lobe is what controls the limits of our fuel system. So what Dorch is doing is they're basically increasing the size of that lobe, and in return that increases the amount of fuel that our high pressure fuel pump can flow, which then increases the amount of power that our direct injection system can support. So this is something that we've talked about in the past in a couple videos, but it's really cool to see a company directly attack this design feature so that we can increase the capacity of our direct injection fuel system. So I reached out to Dorch directly to get a little more information, and they did provide some details to me that I want to share with you guys. So hopefully you find this video useful.
Now, as always, for everybody that's new to the channel, I create these videos to help keep you updated on the latest developments in our community, as well as discuss technical topics so that we have a better understanding of how our engines work. So if you're interested in more videos like that, be sure to subscribe because there will be a lot more coming out in the future.
Now, like we know, Dorch is not a company that is very experienced in cam manufacturing, so they are going to be working with Kelford cams in order to manufacture these new cam profiles. So they designed what they want the cam lobe to look like, and they're working with Kelford to actually get them built and distributed in the future. Now, just to be clear, after this is all said and done, there are going to be 3 different options that are available. The Kelford cams that were already released are not changing at all. So we talked about that a couple weeks ago. They've got 3 different stages, but that is just going to be an upgrade to the cam lobes for your valve train and a stock cam lobe for your high pressure fuel pump. Now Dorch is coming out with 2 additional options. So they are going to come out with one that pairs their upgraded high pressure fuel pump lobe with the Kelford cam profile so that you can get more fuel flow and more airflow into your engine. But they are also going to be releasing an upgraded cam that only has the bigger cam lobe for your high pressure fuel pump. So the rest of your valve train cam lobes will remain completely stock. Now this is cool for a couple different reasons. One big one is the high pressure fuel pump lobe that they're releasing is rated to add an additional 40% fuel flow for their high pressure fuel pump upgrades. So for example, a Dorch Stage 1 seems to be limited to around 600 wheel horsepower on an ethanol mix, and with this upgraded cam lobe, it could probably support 700 to 800 wheel horsepower. And in the same vein, a Dorch Stage 2, we've seen around 700 wheel horsepower, and with their lobe, you should be able to see even up to 1,000 wheel horsepower. Now, these numbers are all in theory. We're basically just adding 40% power onto the existing limits or records that we've seen, but it is cool to think that that could even be a possibility. And their real goal here is to be able to get into the 700 wheel horsepower range with full E85, no mixing, just straight E85 fuel, which is a huge deal to get there without port injection. Now, on the other hand, it's still important that we have options available with the factory fuel lobe for your high pressure fuel pump, because in Dorch's testing, they found that that bigger lobe would increase the stroke of the stock B58 high pressure fuel pump too much, to the point that it would damage the internals. So if you have a stock Gen 1 or a TU high pressure fuel pump, you cannot use the upgraded lobes to increase the limits of your fuel system. And especially for Gen 2 guys that don't even have high pressure fuel pump upgrades available, it's key to stick with one that has the standard high pressure fuel pump cam profile. Now, along those same lines, Dorch has been testing this upgraded cam profile on their development car for about a year now. And what they found is that you basically run into the injector limits extremely quickly. So they weren't really able to extract a lot more power out of the car, and they've in turn been working on their own upgraded fuel injectors, so those should be coming out soon. But in the meantime, of course, we've had several announcements from other companies that are going to be releasing upgraded Bosch injectors. So Dorch thought that this would be a good idea to basically announce and work on releasing this now, because they know that you really need to pair this upgraded cam profile with an upgraded injector in order to see benefits from both parts. So it's really nice that this is going to be out there, but we don't have a whole lot of data on the actual horsepower limits or anything like that yet. Once Dorch comes out with their injector upgrades, then they will continue testing and be able to post some of those results. They were also able to determine and confirm that the existing coding options for your Dorch Stage 1 and Dorch Stage 2 will be able to control your high pressure fuel pump even with the upgraded cam lobe. So you can basically just install this on your car, check an option in your tune, and drive away without any issues. Just have higher headroom on your fuel system. Now, if you do get the one that combines the Dorch cam lobe with the Kelford valve train lobes, then that's going to need custom settings and custom tunes to take advantage of the additional airflow. Now, as far as pricing, we haven't confirmed the numbers yet, but we do expect the option that combines the Dorch cam lobe with the Kelford cam profile to be similarly priced to the rest of the Kelford lineup, but the option that uses the OEM cam profile with just the increased lobes for your high pressure fuel pump should be cheaper. It also should be easier to install because you'll only need to install an exhaust cam, and you're not going to have to spend as much money on supporting mods because if you guys remember, the Kelford cam profile requires also upgrading valve springs. If you don't do that, then you could run into valve float issues, and you just need that to properly control your valve train. So that adds additional cost for hardware since you have to buy the springs, and it adds additional labor because you have to actually install those springs as well. And this is where it kind of becomes a question of what is really worth it for you. If you're going to be upgrading your cams, then it's definitely worthwhile to go ahead and increase the cam lobe, I think, if you have an upgraded high pressure fuel pump, because now you'll have the additional fuel flow and you can lean on that more than your port injection to make power. But if you just want the standard cam profile with the Dorch lobe for your high pressure fuel pump and you're trying to push over 700 wheel horsepower, are you going to be building your engine anyway? You know, is your head going to be coming off? And then at that point, does it make more sense to just go with the upgraded cam profile as well? So it's hard to really say what makes the most sense. I know a lot of people are making 700 to 800 wheel horsepower on a stock engine. And so if you're willing to push it that hard, then you definitely could go with the simpler route and try to stick with direct injection only. But if you're going to be building your engine anyway and the head is coming off, then at that point, maybe it makes more sense to combine, you know, the increased airflow and the increased fueling. So we'll see once these actually come out. I think Dorch is really excited to see if customers do combine their upgrade with other options for injector upgrades. We'll be able to tell just how far these fuel systems can be pushed. And then Dorch, of course, will hopefully be releasing their injectors soon as well so that we can pair it directly with their cam upgrade and see what the two units that are designed to go together can truly do when they're pushed to their limits. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below.